Okay, so April here with Radio Not Entertainment. I'm doing our segment Meet the Locals. I'm sitting here with ANTISTAR from Minneapolis. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're doing well.
Good. So thank you for sitting down with me. I appreciate it. So this is kind of a special Meet the Locals feature. They're going to be performing some songs for us too, so we'll get to that later in the interview. But first we'll start with introduce yourselves.
Sean, vocals.
I'm Ryan, I play guitar.
Nate, I'm in keys.
Walter J, bass. Luke, drums.
So how would you guys describe your music?
Well, I'd say that we are kind of like a Sepultura meets Massive Attack. Very heavy, very melodic, very emotional, very sonic. A group of guys that have been doing this for a long time together. So it's a blast, that's for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
So are you guys starting to work on a new EP then?
Yeah, we are. Ryan and I, actually most of the band have been down at Studio Z. We're recording our album. Our producer is Rich Zeta. He's the drummer in Skywind and Wither the Tide. He's got a great vision for our album. I heard your sound last night. He spent some time with it. I mean, it was sick, dude. It was real sick.
Yeah, we went down and just recorded what I thought, just a scratch track.
Yep, that's what we're working on right now.
So how do you guys differentiate yourself from other bands here in the Twin Cities?
Trying to write, not songs that are blah, 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 like in your face, more where we put a lot of thought and everything we got into what we're making. We're spending a lot of time, I guess, what I'm trying to say on what we're doing.
Yep.
A lot of the thing is, too, we write what we like and what we enjoy, what sounds good, and it all just kind of comes together when we start jamming, and everyone has their own parts, and it's just we have fun with it, and it sounds like what we are.
Yeah, we developed our couple songs over the course of a year, so that kind of gives you an idea. We didn't just get together and in a couple months have a bunch of crap. It's
right.
We've all been friends for years and just kind of.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet synergy for the most part. I mean, we get down there and it just kind of happens. We just go through it. The energy's in the room. I mean, it's whatever it needs to be. I really can't compare our band to other local bands because they got their thing and everything, but the synergy in the room it takes over, and we're just, as much as we're players, we're also victims to it as well. So it's sweet. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's like you said, if this sucked, we wouldn't be doing it, but we're really in it for each other. I mean, we've been each other's friends through everything. I mean, all the ups, all the downs. It's a process, and you got to be tight as a band in order to see it through, and that's just it's kind of how we are. It's who we are.
Yeah. So you guys, you're playing a song. Is it Vixen?
Yeah, Vixen.
Tonight?
Yep.
So talk a little more about that.
Sure.
Came together fast.
Yeah.
We had to do it before the Poorhouse. It was like our second show for 93X, and we had 2 weeks to get that song prepped and kind of to go. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a show we wrote specifically because people responded so good. We felt like, we got in the studio that night. We're like, let's write to these people a new song. These people are showing up to see us. Let's write a good song, and then that Vixen came together in 2 weeks, and we busted that out.
Yeah, it's
And
one
it
of my
turned out
personal
good.
faves. Absolutely. Yeah, so that'll be the one that we'll be performing for tonight.
So let's go right into that then.
and in and out of soft roads, singing disfigured. Singing's disfigured. There was sin in the fallen. Backwards I'm blind. Oh, worried mind. She can smell the dead on my new collar. Oh, why should I bother? In the bounds of the white in the harvest fields, I like to fall down on my head, fall down on my head again. Like French perfume, so that I light up. As I'm showered by the scent of your finish line. Your finish line. There was sin where I'm calling. Backwards I'm blind. Oh, worried mind. She smells the dead on my new collar. Oh, why should I bother?
You guys use the phrase "welcome to the new heavy" to describe your music. Elaborate more on that and what you mean.
I think you can be heavy without necessarily having overly distorted guitars and playing your drums as loud as you can. I think bands like Massive Attack are heavy in a sense that it's really hard to explain. I think you can be heavy without having to play as hard as you can.
Yeah.
It's more of an emotional thing for me. If the vocals are soft, but if they mean something more, there's a heaviness to that. So that might be dumb, but that's how I describe it.
Cool. What kind of experience do you guys want to bring to the crowd when you're playing? I know you guys have this set up to the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Projector.
Projector.
We want to be as visual as possible. I mean, Nate's been the man behind that. I always saw it going musically that we'd want to really bring an energy to the shows, one where not necessarily the crowd has to mosh. I mean, hell yeah, you cats can if you want to, that's fun. But also one of transcendence. I mean, it's very important that we get out there and play our songs tight and give our fans a fair representation of the sound. But Nate's taken it to the next level that, I mean, even myself, I've been surprised on. Next thing you know, it starts out as simple as fog, and then there's lasers, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we've got a projector that we set up in no time. The first show going into it, I mean, it's been sick. He's developed all the videos. I mean, you could probably talk more to that than I could.
We just figure since people pay to go to the shows, we want to, like, we'll invest in, we want to be a professional band is what we're trying to get. So, like, if we need to go get stuff to help a show out, then, you know, by all means, we'll go get it. And that's where we're just trying to bring cool shows and get a really live music scene back.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Well said.
I think one thing I personally, and I think the rest of the guys would agree, is when we play live, we want it to be a positive experience for people. I go to a lot of shows where the lead singer is constantly saying F you to the crowd, and I know that's the metal thing to do, but with us, we want it to be a positive experience, and we want people to feel good after they see us. We don't want them to go home and sit in a dark corner.
Hold up.
Fair enough.
Well, Luke and I definitely agree on that. We've had many of conversations. I mean, I go back with this cat 15 years, and I'm one of those ones that have gone to pretty much every metal show under the sun, and I get it, you know, and I've been there too, and I love the energy. And I think to kind of touch on his point, You know, ours is, I don't know, we don't quite have the same live show as a lot of other bands, because each show differentiates itself, like kind of the feelings that we get down there. I mean, none of this is rehearsed besides the music, so like who we are when we're on stage is who we are that day, and obviously the years leading up to that day, but really it's every show I found is so different, but it's wild. I mean, it's a very unique 5-member band, that's for sure.
Who did you grow up idolizing, whether you're a band, musician, or just some random person thing?
Well, I'd say me and Shaw talked about this on the way to the House of Rock. I remember my first CD I got was Nirvana Nevermind, and my grandma bought it for me, and she was so embarrassed because it had the little naked baby and this little weenie hanging out.
I had that one too.
That was my first CD, so that was pretty special.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like into stuff like just different stuff like Run DMC and just I was all over the board. Not too much into country, but I mean I had Phil Collins, and you know, a lot of my influences when I got older were more like Pink Floyd, and I don't know, I like a lot of stuff with trippy melodic sounds. That's kind of what I try to bring to it.
Nice.
I like to start at polka music, and after that phase, which was about 20 years, I found Tim Comfort from Rage Against the Machine.
Hell yeah.
And you just kind of figured it out from there. After that, it was Cliff Burton, and you know, the story continues.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen The Lion King?
Yeah.
When I was really little, that's what I used to listen to the most. But when I graduated to rock music, it was me and Reed actually grew up together, and we used to sit in my basement and listen to Rage Against the Machine like for days on end. So I would say Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
And then we put the Lion King back on and found a whole new world.
Wait, a whole new world?
That's
No,
not The
that's
Lion
Aladdin, dude.
Yeah, come on, know your Disney shit.
Oh, man.
My bad.
This is on TV, Reed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, to touch on what Ryan was saying too, like when we were having that conversation down at the House of Rock, I was telling him my first like tape was Offspring Smash, and I mean that was right when it came out. I was, I don't know, maybe that high, and it was crazy because there's so many good songs in there, so many good bass lines, and it was so raw for its time. And I remember my mom listening to it, and I think she was listening to Killboy Powerhead. And if you know anything about that song, there's like a breakdown where like basically the vocals take over, and it's just like talking about going nuts on road rage, and he uses some great choice words. But yeah, she made me return it back to that grocery store that we bought it from. It was super embarrassing, but I'd have to say, growing up, I know it's cliche, there's probably 100 different influences, probably 1,000 now that I have, but John Davis, you know, from Korn, growing up in high school, and you know, living his lyrics during that time. I mean, that was when it finally dawned on me that music can completely save lives, and it's not to be underestimated.
Yeah. So how did your guys' band name come about?
That was tough. It took
was pretty much
forever.
every
Months.
band member came up with a list of like 20 of their best ideas, and then we just narrowed it down as we went, and
Yeah.
did some research and then got it down to, you know, that one just always kind of stuck.
I think it was 3 months of
It felt right.
It did, yeah.
no-name band.
No name band, but we knew it would come and to be special when it did. And I think, you know, ANTISTAR, when you really say ANTISTAR, I mean, it means exactly what it states. Like, us 5, you know, we're surpassed that level of ego and, you know, oh, we're gonna do this and do this. We're just letting it all come. Like, we don't want to be anything that's like packaged, sold, you know, shrink wrapped. Like, we just want to do what comes natural to us. I mean, that way nobody could ever pigeonhole us. Like, we'll always have our sound, we'll always have our thing. ANTISTAR, just, it's a statement, and it worked. Like Nate and Ryan said, like, when we all finally got on that, it was like, it was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt natural, so, and it was.
So you guys want to talk about your next song? I forgot what it was called. What you were
What are
playing.
you doing next?
Blood Moon.
Blood Moon.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, talk a little bit more about that.
I don't know,
We
Ryan.
wrote it during the Blood Moon.
Okay.
That's
the
right.
Blood Moon, I think that was last fall, I want to say.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
So we just were writing the song that night. We're like, let's call it Blood Moon because there's a blood moon. So
It was the
It's a
best. It was the
simple-
most
it's a simple
amazing
thing.
blood moon.
Yeah.
It really was, yeah. It was pretty wild. I mean, even lyrically, hi. Lyrically, yeah, I'll bring a lot of stuff from thousands of notebooks up, but that was a cool song because when we all started jamming on it that night, everything was just from the moment. And I mean, we referenced the blood moon in that song. I mean, you know, we ate that up. It's
Yeah.
I think it's one of our heavier ones. We've been opening with it for a lot of our shows, and it was a blast to do scratch vocals to last night.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So we're gonna look forward to playing that.
Awesome. So we'll go right into that now too.
Sweet.
Blood
what are your guys' plans for 2015 here?
I don't know. You guys have been handling business lately. It's been amazing.
I handle all business.
He's in our plans.
I think we're definitely gonna be booking a lot of shows. We're gonna be just trying to get out, play, have fun with as many bands and people and fans as we can, and keep it going. We're trying to get our hands on a tour bus right now. That's in the works, so we can travel with keeping our costs down. So that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
To any band, I think that would be hearing it.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, we got 5 guys, and that's a lot of people to transport places.
Yeah,
So
shit.
and a lot of expense. So
Right.
I think that's pretty much what we're gonna work on getting.
You know, Luke and I and Reed used to be in an old band back in the day, and we were growing up when the scene was first lighting up. It felt like maybe around like 7 or 10 years ago. I think Skywind was right in 02, right next door to us, and we were just becoming a band. And Minneapolis, especially the Twin Cities, it can be Seattle. Like, there can be your Nirvana, your Soundgarden, you know, any of those bands coming out of there. Like, there's so much good talent here that for 2015, we just want to focus on getting our songs out, like, to where they can be downloaded. People can listen to it on their beats, whatever they want to do. But I think playing with all these bands and, like, getting that special bond again, and really, so I know all of them and us take it very seriously and want to, like, pack these concert halls. And I mean, if we can do that, we can all go to the promised land together. And, like, I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much talent right now. I mean, it's wild. It could be certainly an army, and Twin Cities certainly could have a place in the history books.
I think so. That's one reason why I started Meet the Locals too. I'm actually also working on a show now, hopefully, to get together quite a few of the bands, start a show like early in the day and just have it go and feature a lot of bands. So.
Absolutely.
Like a mini Woodstock.
Well,
yeah, there
maybe.
you go.
Maybe.
Nice.
So one last question. If you guys could have personally witnessed an event in the past, what would you have liked to see? So,
Ooh. That's a great question.
one random question thrown in there.
Oh, you know, my mind immediately goes to music and, like, festivals that I could have seen. You know, Woodstock would have, like, the original, like, what was it, 69 or whatever year that was. I mean, that would have been amazing. You know, the closest thing I've ever, like, rehashed to the past has been going to see the Doors of the 21st Century. It was, I think, the lead singer from The Cult was singing with Ray Manzarek and not John Densmore, but Robbie Krieger. And I mean, there was an energy there too, like, that made you kind of go back to this day of, like, just being, like, free love, you know, hippie kind of spirit stuff. But yeah, I think Woodstock would probably be mine.
It'd probably be the start of, like, a Subway sandwich. Like, when it started. When they developed it.
That's
Dude, that's an awesome
dude.
answer.
That
I
is so
love
deep.
that.
Oh man.
I'm kicking myself for missing the last Michael Jackson concert. I never got to see that dude. And yeah.
Right.
Mine would probably be every Lady Gaga show that has ever happened.
Ever.
I would have liked to seen the person that invented fly fishing when he first did it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You know, just to kind of touch on that too, the more, especially when they handed the mic to Reed, I think I would have really liked to see Cliff Burton play for Metallica.
Okay.
That would have been just brutally awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so where can people watching this interview find you guys? Facebook, Twitter, any upcoming shows?
Yeah. Facebook, Twitter, we're on. We've got a great website.
ANTISTARBAND.com.
Yep. Absolutely. Blaine's made that thing super sweet for us. He's our kind of web guru.
Okay. All right, let us know. Thank you guys for sitting down with me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so check out Antistar from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Check out Meet the Locals. We put out interviews with new bands every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time.